keeps you up at night. I want you to write a script about that. And I want you to write it as honestly as you can, but then slap fangs on the top of it so no one really understands that it's real. So the writers were being asked to do something very brave and something very vulnerable every week. They would literally come down to the set, and I would be like, "Great script, man!" And they'd be like, You're like, "You don't know, I hope that you don't understand how close this is to me." And I think that that's, to some degree, why Buffy is such a good show, because it was so brave in that way. One of the female writers had an experience that took her a long time to talk about. And it happened to her, I think, in college or whatever. And she had a boyfriend who broke up with her. And she thought if they only made love one more time, it would all be fixed. So she went over to his house and really threw herself on him. Like, really aggressively threw herself on him, to the point where he said, "Enough!" and pushed her off. And that was the end of it. And she thought was one of the most painful experiences of her life. And when the thought came up about what happens when Buffy breaks up with Spike, what's going to happen then, she had this idea. She said, well, since Buffy is a superhero, she had the same ability that the guy had with me, just to push her off. So we should do that. And some of the writers were like, "Oh God, that's kind of a rape scene now." But the thought was, no, it's not, because Buffy's a superhero, so she can protect herself very easily from that. But see, what I think is that when you're watching Buffy, you are Buffy. It's the vicarious experience that every storyteller tries to get. Whenever you watch a movie, you're supposed to feel like you are the lead, right? Like when I watched Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, right? I'm watching the movie, and he's telling his daughter, "I will come back," right? Now, I've told my daughter that so many times. I told her before I came here, "I'll be back." And so at that moment, I connected with Matthew McConaughey. And not only was I like Matthew McConaughey, now I was Matthew McConaughey. And now I was going to space. And it's exciting, right? And that's how it works. That's how storytelling works. And so it's inevitable that anybody, male or female, when you're watching Buffy, you are Buffy. And so the audience was being done to the audience. And the audience is not superheroes. The audience might have more of a trouble pushing off like that. And so I was feeling like maybe in this instance it was not a good idea. And I remember coming to set, and it was the idea of a female, but the person who actually wrote the dialogue was Steve DeKnight. And I remember going to the set and just looking at Steve and saying, "Dude, you do not understand what you do to us. You write this stuff, but we have to live it." And he was kind of confused. And we started filming the scene, and the first shot of me was me just coming through the door. But I was so freaked out already by having to do it. Like, I cannot watch a scene like that, like a rape scene. I can't watch it on TV, on movies. If I know that a scene is like that in a movie, I won't go. If it comes up on television, I'll turn it off. If a role comes down to audition for that involves that, I just pass on it. I do not want to walk through that experience on either side. But I was forced. Like I was contracted to do it, so I had to do it. And so I was freaked out. And they call action, and I'm like, "Hi, but," and this old hurt in my neck, a whiplash in my neck, just popped off, and I just literally went and fell down to the floor like a marionette with the strings cut off. And Sarah was just like, "What the? Oh my God!" And everyone was concerned for a little bit, but I got back on my feet. And it was one of the hardest days of my life. It was the worst day of my professional life. By the end of it, I was in the fetal position in the floor of the set on the concrete, shaking. It was not easy to do. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, hopefully it all makes sense within the whole show. Maybe there is something in that scene that is useful. But in general, I will say, I'll take that. Like, if I'm going to be on a show that's brave, that is scaring me, that's making me feel uncomfortable, that is challenging the audience, if the payment for that is to have to do a scene like that, yeah, I'll take that.
It's worth it. But I wish I didn't.
Thank you very much.